for this goal for me, I said this like walking back to the car last night when we were at the game, like everyone loves the Keshi Anderson away at Huddersfield. Everyone loves the Iwata against Newcastle. But to me, this team goal is just as good as them. So welcome back to BCFC Royal Blue. And on Tuesday evening, Birmingham City beat Cambridge United 4-0 in a completely dominant and controlled performance. And in fact, that's the biggest win we've had this season in terms of gap. The one previously was 3-0 away at Wigan. And what a result in terms of that keeps us top of the league, 7 points now between first and second with a game in hand as well. Things are looking very good as we move into this sort of mid to late part of the season. So, Dad, Birmingham City 4, Cambridge United 0. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, we was not concerned, but after the euphoria of the Newcastle game, this was almost like back to the nitty gritty of the league. And Chris Davis, which I was really happy to see and expected anyway, said in his post-match conference that he was absolutely adamant that they wouldn't be complacent after the euphoria, and they didn't let us down, did they? I mean, we played a very, very strong team. Our starting lineup, we'll come on to in a minute, was very strong. But, we can't not mention that Cambridge were exceptionally poor as well. So it was a combination of us being really good and them being really poor. But, we've said before, Matt, you can only beat the opposition that are in front of you, can't you?
It's funny you say that, Dad, because we were in the stadium, weren't we? And we said it felt like Newcastle was the night out, we were on the beers, and Cambridge was like the hangover, weren't it? Like, it was almost like the stadium was really quiet. Like nothing was going to come even close to that, was it? So
it was like going for a drink in the bar and the dregs from the Newcastle game are still there on the side. It felt a bit like that, didn't it?
It did feel a bit quiet in there, but it was back in the league, Dad. Top priority. Good to get back in the league. I want to keep getting these wins ticked off as we move through, and that's not arrogant. That's just objective to get us back to the Championship as quickly as we possibly can. And what a performance, Dad. I mean, even from the first whistle, from the first kick whistle went, we were in complete control, weren't we? We went at them, and I deliberately picked the cold intro to the pre-video about picking the pace up and being direct in not shoehorning the ball around, and I thought we did that brilliantly.
Some of the football we played was literally outstanding. It was so good. So, and again, like you mentioned, that relates to the tempo. We're playing one touch. I mean, some people refer to it as tiki-taka football, which is obviously, but it was really enjoyable to watch. And Cambridge didn't know what to do. They I don't think did they have a shot? They made a couple. They didn't have anything of any significance at all. Yeah. Ryan Allsop, it must be one of his easiest games ever. He must have been cold. I mean, he hardly had anything to do the whole game.
I think they got it in our half. Once in the first half and once in the second with a maybe an attack down the wing, and it feels. I mean, I promise you, I'm not being disrespectful to Cambridge here, but what are they doing on the training ground with passing? It was just going straight out. How many times did they just pass it straight out for a throw-in?
The goalkeeper
at
kicked
least
the ball.
5 or 6 times.
The goalkeeper kicked the ball out. I mean, I thought I was watching John Ruddy last season for us, but what I was really pleased to see, Matt, is our attitude was right. Our players were all up for it. They were still hunting in packs. They weren't being complacent in any way. Because there was some speculation that not speculation, but discussion before the game from fans. Should we rest a few players? Should we not? But 3 points against Cambridge is just as many points as against Charlton or anybody else. So you might as well put your best team out and get the 3 points. But what was interesting, Matt, I was really happy to see Pake back. Real surprise. Surprise. Didn't expect him in because we were all wondering what the midfield was going to be like, because we know Mark Leonard's going to be out for a little while. But Pake was there and it was brilliant. He was alongside Iwata. Yeah. We had Williamson come back into the starting 11, and we also had Allsop back in goal. I think it was Scott Wright dropped to the bench, and I think Ukit and Samstead weren't even in the squad.
No. In fact, Dad, just looking at our team, I think that's our strongest starting 11.
Yeah, I think so as well.
In terms, Dal, we can come on to individual performances in a minute, but how dynamic going forward is he making us? He's passing, he's picking out, he's running with the ball. Like, he's just an absolute great player.
Do you know in January transfer window, when you try and plug gaps for what you think you need, one thing we've been good all season in patches and being consistent, but one thing we've lacked in that number 10 or any of the front positions is creativity. That ability to be able to pick a pass out or to have the vision to link up a move. He's got all that, and he's corners as well. Yeah. A few of them went to the goalkeeper yesterday, but we get past the first defender. We're doing long corners, and we're much more dangerous now at corners and set pieces because of him.
And someone used the word, I can't remember what page it was or where I read it down, but someone said the word free flowing in terms of the Blues' performance, and I think Dal has a lot of credit for that, because when we go in the attacking part of the pitch now, his touches, his through balls, his finesse, he really is a proper player, isn't he? He's really creative. He's exactly what we've been missing going forward in League One, because we have especially in the first half of the season, been guilty of that side to side. Dal doesn't do that. He just takes on his man, or he's playing a ball through. He doesn't look backwards.
No.
He's always looking forwards for the creative option moving forward. And I thought he was great. I mean, first half, very controlled, really good build-ups of play, really good passages of play. And I thought, Dad, we've spoken a lot on this podcast about Rotherham away earlier in the season, and we talk about a performance, about being in control of the game. I think we've just trumped that. And there's many others apart from the Rotherham game where we've had control, but there was something about that game. We didn't just control it. We thumped them. Just in terms of going forward, we were creating chances. I mean, it was 4-0. It could have been 7 or 8, couldn't it? It could have.
Well, we missed a penalty as well. We missed a penalty, and we had so many other good chances as well. And, at the end of the day, you'll settle for 4-0. You'll settle for 4-0, but it could have been more. We always want more as fans, don't we? So when it's 1-0, we want more. When it's 4-0, we want more. But ultimately, at the end of the day, it's all 3 points.
In fact, Dad, in the stadium, we went 1-0 up. Do you remember the bloke behind us? Like, I want 7 tonight. Or something like that. We were like, calm down.
I heard murmurs, as we were sort of in the ground, and, the people's obviously talking about what they want. And there's some pretty high scores, but, you can't really sort of argue with the fact that we got a good performance, got a load of goals. Could have scored more, and we got the 3 points. So it was a really good night all the way around.
We say this a lot, Dad. 1-0, 10-0, it's 3 points. It does not matter, does it?
It is 3 points, but so you can't grumble. And of
no,
course,
no, definitely not.
So let's go on to the nitty gritty. I think we can obviously go through the goals really.
Let's do it.
The first goal was we had a lot of good play before the goal. Had some good chances before the goal, but nothing real clinical before the goal. But then Ethan Laird, he burst. He's got that burst of pace.
He has.
That is so dynamic when he does that. And he went through past the defender. The one defender went to challenge him, and then the other defender just come and went through. And I heard some of the Cambridge fans on their vlogs after I watched a few today saying, "There's no way that's a penalty." Yeah. He took him out completely. I mean, he was actually off. I don't understand how that is not a penalty. Because he's obviously in an attacking position. He's just about to cross the ball. He's in their penalty area, and they literally that second defender just literally wiped him out completely. So it was a clear penalty.
In fact, Dad, in the moment, I thought, that might be a bit soft because it kind of looked like Laird's momentum took him over. But when you watch it back, that second player just absolutely launches, goes through him. Absolutely undeniable.
James Brophy, his name was. He's the guy who steamed him. But I mean, it is a bit silly though, because if you're a defender, you're going to know that if you make a challenge like that in your box, the referee's going to make a decision. I mean, you might get away with a few, but it was so obvious that.
Can I just say that on Ethan Laird? Because again, he has his critics amongst the fan base. He's playing like a man possessed. He's quick. He's getting balls in the box. He's running down. I mean, you said to me about 3 times last night, Dad. Look how high Laird is. He's not playing as a right back, is he? So Davies, his instructions for Laird, and we've seen it all season. To be fair, is clearly to pretty much be an attacker, isn't it?
Yeah.
But since the Wigan away game, Dad, I think Laird has gone on even leaps and bounds since then.
Yeah.
And if you watch the Newcastle game and some of the balls in, his delivery's getting better. We just haven't got anyone in the box getting on the end of them. Anyway, coming back to the penalty, I thought it was a penalty on replay. And Stano, I thought he missed it at first. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, we was at the other end. So our seats are in the Tilton Road, and the penalty was down the other end of in front of the Gilmerick. And from where we were looking at, because what Stano tends to do, which is why I think the second one was saved, which we'll come on to in a minute, he tends to knock it down the middle. He does that a lot. If you look at a lot of Stano's penalties, goalkeepers are going to know that. He needs to have a bit more variation, but you can't argue because up until the one he missed, it was 7 out of 7. So whatever he's doing, he's scoring. But we thought, because like the second one, the feet just went past the goalkeeper's feet to go in. But that was 1-0, and we fully deserved that goal. Fully deserved to be in the lead. We had a chance just after that as well, where Laird lined up a Water on the edge of the box. And everyone, as soon as a Water, even when they're coming out and people see a Water shouting shoot. But Laird laid it across to him, and a Water ran onto it. He didn't have the power anywhere near the power of the goal against Newcastle, and he got a deflection and then went out for a corner.
I remember.
So that was another good opportunity. And then the second goal. Again, Dow was involved in this as well.
Beautiful link-up play.
It was fantastic. Well, Dow looked like he'd lost the ball, but he looped it over, didn't he, to Keshi Anderson, and then Keshi put a really, really sort of direct cross into the box, and it was knocked into their own goal, wasn't it?
How many times have we said get the ball in the box? It could hit the post. The keeper could fumble it. It could take a deflection. There's loads of opportunities to happen. Case in point, own goal, because we got the ball in the box and they were under pressure. So So
don't try and walk the ball into the
No,
goal. You know,
and-
you sometimes you do that, and it was a wicked cross as well. You know, and obviously the defender, because of the pace, and the defender had our players behind him, pressurising him. It clearly, I don't know if it went off his shin or whatever, but it went into the goal, and that was 2-0.
Yeah, I know, and even before those 2 goals went in, Dad, we were pretty much in cruise control, weren't we? And then that just kind of eased off even more. And then we scored a minute or two after that on the 3rd goal. And Dad, for this goal for me, I mean, I said this like walking back to the car last night when we were at the game, like. Everyone loves the Keshi Anderson away at Huddersfield. Everyone loves the Iwata against Newcastle. But to me, this team goal is just as good as them.
I loved it. I think, again, a lot of Blues fans have reacted on social media about this goal. Yeah, we do all like the 30 yards.
Of course we do.
Even the Dykes goal in the FA Cup against
Absolutely.
Lincoln, that's a great goal as well.
But this to me shows team.
I just
their
love this.
teamwork.
I love this because obviously they kicked off after we scored our 2nd goal. And then I think we, again, pressurised them. And Iwata won the ball initially. And then flicked it to Dowell, who had that lovely flick. Click the flick to just to block the back heel, wasn't it?
It was.
Loosened the ball, and Williamson came running onto it as well.
Yeah.
Williamson just dinked it in passing, and Stano ran onto it as well. He crossed it, didn't it?
Keshi Anderson.
Keshi Anderson dummied it.
Yeah.
And then Dowell just basically placed it.
Yeah, I'm so glad that Dal started the move and ended the move, because it was almost like a full motion.
Chris Davis mentioned that about about his determination, his hunger to keep into the move, and he could have easily, because he was involved early in the move. You know, he just kept going. But that was a very, very good goal. That's one of the best team goals that I've ever seen down the Blues in terms of
team goals.
In fact, they didn't touch the ball.
No,
they couldn't get near it. And such a great goal that is.
It was. I love goals like that, Dad. It's showing the teamwork. 5 or 6 players involved. Good runs, quick passing. Yeah, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And
again, it was like you said, it was one touches. It was it was good momentum going forward. Fantastic 3-0. We even had a chance after that as well. So that was 3-0. Paik found Cochrane on the left-hand side, and he crossed the ball from the left, and the defender cleared the cross, but it went to Dowell, and he hit the bar.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, I forgot about that chance. Yeah.
So and hit the bar, and then went. But that would have been another great chance. But we went in 3-0 at half time, and I think that didn't flatter us at all.
No, didn't
flatter us at all. And I think
completely dominant, weren't it?
What we were talking about this as well, weren't we, Matt? What was it? We weren't laughing at, but we found funny is that even at 3-0 down, just Cambridge were wasting time. Their goalkeeper was taking the time with the ball. What are we doing? You know, I presume by if you're a team bottom of the league, you're playing a team top of the league, you're thinking we don't want to get hammered here, so that they're trying to sort of limit the amount of time we have.
Come on, have some self-respect. At least have a go. But he was burning off the clock with 5-10 minutes to go, 4-0 down. Dad, it really was bizarre, and we saw it away at Shrewsbury, the worst. But that was understandable because they were winning.
Charlton was the worst.
Oh yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, you're
Charlton
right.
Charlton in terms of time wasting, they are the worst.
Oh yeah, they were.
Or they would argue we're the best team at it.
True. But my point is that a lot of League One teams this season have burnt the clock down in odd scenarios, haven't they? You're 3-0 down. Why? Anyway, let's.
That's actually a good point because Charlton were defending the lead.
Yes, exactly.
So not as an excuse for it, but
at least
there was a bit of reason.
And so was Shrewsbury.
At least there was a bit of a reason. Yes, Shrewsbury as well. But
exactly.
these were like 3-0 down and at the end of the first half, and they were wasting time. So so then we go into the second half. Now I noticed that Iwata took a bit of a knock in the first half. Around about half an hour had gone, and it looked like he was hobbling quite badly at the beginning, but then he seemed to run it off, and then by the end of the first half he seemed okay. But I think maybe as a precaution, Chris Davis took him off at half time. And I'm
glad he did that. If he was having a niggle, I'd rather him get recovery and rest, if I'm honest, because he's such a key player for us.
Yeah,
take the precaution.
Yeah, and he brought Christian Bielek on, and he played in midfield, didn't he? So we have got players that can come on.
Yeah.
I mean, Bielek, as we know, has been used in both centre half and as midfielder. And then there was a chance. Really early on, fantastic cross from Stanfield, who'd actually broken down the right, and he found Williamson, who was running in, and literally Williamson made contact with the ball, round about on the penalty spot, but unfortunately he
good save,
straight to the goalkeeper.
Save,
it was a good save actually. When I say straight to the goalkeeper, he made good contact with it, but the goalkeeper made a really good save. So that was that chance, and then we had the penalty miss then, which obviously we It was definitely a penalty. I mean, obviously we played some good football just on the outside of the box. They eventually came to stand. He tried to turn, and he wanted to shoot, but then again he was just pushed over, bundled over.
And before that, Dad, there was a real obvious handball, weren't there? So we were out by the corner flag. We were about to cross it in, and it came across his body, and it literally, to me, it looked like it hit him about there.
Yeah. And what was not so good about that is that the assistant referee was literally virtually standing in front of it.
I feel like they're scared to give handballs. We've seen a few this year that they. I mean, we have got given a few, fair enough, but there's been so many this season where I've gone, that's a clear handball.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. You know what? That's always controversial because even the Premier League, when they have VAR, they argue about whether something's a handball or not.
It can be.
And then they talk about have discussions about are his hands in a natural position and all that.
Yeah.
Do you know? They don't need to go scientific like that. I mean, if the ball hits a player's hand or his arm or below, it's below here, isn't it? If they hit that and it interferes with a goal scoring chance, it should be a penalty.
Yeah, absolutely. It
doesn't matter whether you're in a natural position or not.
Because they've made it so complicated, it's so subjective now. So one referee might view it as one, and another referee might view it as another. Yeah. Because they've blurred the lines on what handball is now. It's so complicated what it means that we don't tend to.
And I think it may because we were 3-0 up as well. They think, well, they're 3-0 up, they'll be greedy. And then we did have the penalty miss, which obviously, the Stan was bundled over in the area and it was a penalty, but he missed it. He tried the same thing again to go down the middle, but this time the goalkeeper left. He did dive, but he left his legs in the middle, didn't he? And it hit his legs, and it pinged off that, and their defender headed it out. I did say to you, did I? I said he's going to miss this one.
You did say that, yeah. You did.
I did before he took it because I just felt that to me, if you've already had one penalty from Jay Stansfield in one game, you sort of know, unless he does something completely different. But if you've done your homework on him, you'll know that he's always going to do that. So if you are watching, Jay, a bit of coaching tip here for you. Try a bit of variation in your penalties for us. Although that was the first penalty he's missed.
I was going to say
7 out of 7, but it's the first one he's missed. So don't listen to me, Jay. Just do what you want.
Cut him some slack. 7 out of 7 is pretty good.
I'm not being critical at all.
I know you're not.
And obviously it was a save, so that didn't go in. Then we had another chance. A corner was rolled to Cochrane, and he whipped the ball he rolled the ball into the path of Paik, who actually ran into it and really leathered it, made good contact with it, and again it was into the arms of the goalkeeper, but that was from about 25 yards.
To be fair, Dave, you've just said something there, and we haven't really spoke about it in great amounts of detail, but it was really key in this game. How many times does Cochrane get the ball in the box? He's got some left foot on him, hasn't he? Relentless. Just every time he gets it out wide, boom, it's going in. I mean, I do wish it's catch-22 to some extent, because we're not a kind of team, are we? Like your Wrexhams and your various teams that pepper the box and get it in. But I just wish we had some more bodies. At Newcastle, we were getting some brilliant balls in the box, but there's no one there.
Yeah.
It's like, let's try and get some more bodies in the box. But then it's a sacrifice, isn't it? Then you make yourself more vulnerable if it doesn't work.
Yeah.
So I get the logic. And Chris Davies, I would say, is a little bit more cautionary than risk taker in terms of in the defensive setup. We're solid, and he doesn't take unnecessary risks to get us goals. Does it? It's more grinding teams down.
I think we're doing it more though, Matt.
We are.
I've noticed over the last, say, half a dozen games, we've started to put more balls in the box because that was one of our criticisms of games that are really, really tight. We were saying we don't do that enough. But I think over the last half a dozen games, we've definitely seen more balls put into the box. But Cochrane, we have to give a special mention because he had a really good game last night against Cambridge. And this was off the back of not a bad performance against Newcastle. He was just playing a quality player in Asula who gave him a really hard time.
Yeah,
but we know that Cochrane's a quality player. We know that he's a good defender. And we know that he can, do good crosses like that. So well done to him.
Cochrane's class. I mean, because he has one off game in terms of just from a quality of play. He deserves all the accolades he gets in terms of his delivery, his energy. I mean, look how many games he's played.
Well, I was going to say, hopefully the poor bloke will get a break when his young Jay leaves.
Because to me, Dad, against Newcastle, it was a combination of Asula being class, but also Cochrane maybe having some tired legs in there. It was like a combination of the two. So I hope he does bring in that new left back. I'm going to call him Lee. Because I know I'm going to mess up the pronunciation and offend someone. So hopefully he does get a bit more rotation, give Cochrane some breaks, but special mention, really good crosses into the box against Cambridge.
And that's exactly what he keeps needing to do. And obviously he's up the pitch to do that as well. So he's a good attacking threat as well. Yeah. We had another chance as well, not long after that Paik shot. Scott Wright on the left, left of the box, picked out Bielek. through a crowd of players, and he shot directly at the goalkeeper as well. So yeah, we weren't short of chances, but then of course the fourth goal came, and that I say killed the game off. It was dead. He was dead after. He was dead after.
Fair play to Harris as well, Dad. Again, I'll put my hands up. I'm happy to say, he's had his critics this season. I've not been impressed in certain areas here, but fair play to him. He's got on. He's scored. No nonsense. Just comes down and celebrates in front of the Tilton and cracks on. And great goal, great finish. Had to be there.
20 yards out. I mean, and that was a good finish as well because he just tucked it in between the goal. Because I think the goalkeeper got a little arm to him. He just went inside the post, so he placed it really, really nicely.
Absolutely.
That's not easy to do from 20 yards like that.
No.
So that made it 4-0.
Yeah.
And that was it really.
Okay.
I mean, overall, everything is just what we want to be. We're at top of the league, 66 points. And we are 7 points now ahead of Wickham with a game in hand. And is it 11 points ahead of Wrexham in third?
Yeah.
With a game in hand.
Two final things for me, Dad. One, a special mention to our press and our energy. We smothered Cambridge. We did mention it a little bit earlier, but just a special highlight for the energy we showed because Cambridge couldn't play. We didn't allow them to play either. Our energy and our press is just insane. And secondly and finally, shout out to the blokes in the bottom of Block 12 in the Tilton. They were having a right laugh down the bottom. They were chanting to the fans at the back. They were trying to make a real go of it. And they actually got some decent songs circling around. They look like they're having a great time anyway. And they really made that quite entertaining on the night. Any final thoughts, Dad?
Yeah, just again, Matt, four goals conceded now in the last 14 league games. That's after Shrewsbury. So since Shrewsbury, we've had 14 league games unbeaten. And we've only conceded 4 goals. That's not home goals. That's home and away.
Yeah.
We had 76% possession in that game. And it showed as well, didn't it? 24 shots and 12 on target. I mean, that's a good ratio. If you can get 50% of that many shots, that is really good. So it could have been a lot more. So, we can't sort of not mention that Cambridge were poor, but that probably could have been because of the way we played as well. But it's excellent, excellent win, excellent 3 points. And I think it was really important after Newcastle game, we made a performance like that. And now we move on to Charlton. Which is going to be a completely different game on Saturday.
Yeah. Up to 5th now, Charlton. It's going to be a tricky game.
Yeah, it will be tricky, yeah.
But as always, Birmingham City supporters, we would love to hear from you. Please let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. And if you're a Cambridge United supporter, maybe you watched the pre-video, maybe you've tuned in for the first time, let us know your thoughts as well. We welcome and respect all comments from other fans as well. And if you like this video specifically, please don't forget to give us a thumbs up and check us out on our social media channels. We have an X page, we have an Instagram page, and we're also over on Spotify now if you want to listen or watch your podcasts over there. And don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and hit that bell notification so you get notified every time we post a video. And myself and Dad will see you on the next one, all about Birmingham City.